everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I feel a bit rusty, to be honest with you. It's been a while since I filmed a video. I've been busy birthing a child. I think my last upload was my due date vlog, and then I ended up going a week overdue, and now my son is a week old. So yeah, it's been a fair couple of weeks since I've done this. But hi, it's good to be back. I have obviously had my baby boy. He's actually literally right here as I talk to you. And he's fast asleep, so long may that continue. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, then this will be the first that you've heard that I have had him. I had him on the 24th of April, so he was a whole week late in the end. And his name is Cooper, if you didn't know, and he was 9 pounds, which was a wonderful surprise and explains why it was so difficult to get him out. But I'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, he is here and he arrived safe and well, and he's doing really well. We've had a really lovely first week together as a family. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about his birth, my labour and birth vlog and story. So as you will have seen from the title of this video, I was actually in slow labour for 5 days. I didn't even know that slow labour was a thing until it happened to me. The best way to describe it is, so basically you think you're going into labour constantly, and for me it was always in the evenings. So for about 5 evenings in a row, I was really sort of quite heavily sometimes contracting. You know, they'd be relatively painful, they'd be close together. It was really sort of looking like I was in labour, and then I'd go to bed and it would all stop. So that happened for 5 days, and then I'd have contractions during the day as well, but they'd always be really random, like there'd never be a pattern to them. So that happened for 5 days, and I do have a little bit of footage. I've had to look through my phone because I couldn't even remember like what I filmed, what I haven't filmed, but I do have a little bit of footage that I took during my 5-day slow latent, they call it the latent phase labour. So I'm going to show you that now. I'll show you that first. And I don't even know what the time is. I think it's about 10 o'clock. But I started having some tightenings and cramps about, I don't know, 45 minutes ago. So I just didn't want to get my hopes up, so I was like, I'm just going to go to bed. But they are carrying on. Yeah, I still don't want to get my hopes up, so I'm not timing them. So this is day 3 of being in the latent phase of labour. I've just got Leo out of the bath and we're just sat watching a film before he goes to bed. But yeah, day 3 has not been any different to the last day and the day before that. I've been having contractions all day. I've literally just had one lying here on the bed, which reminded me to pick up my camera. Some of them are like super mild and some of them are really quite tight, but none of them have been painful. So it's not moving forward at all, it's not progressing at all. There is still zero pattern to it. Yeah, it's just, it's annoying. There's no better word for it really. It's just annoying, and yeah, a very weird sort of wishing that you were in pain. Like I said to my mum yesterday, like, never in your life would you wish that you were in severe pain, but that is my wish all day, every day. Weird. We'll go to bed again. I'll sleep on a towel, even though I probably shouldn't even bother. And we'll probably wake up again in the same position. I think after 3 days now, I just don't think this baby's coming on his own. I think he will have to be evicted. And the plan is that I would be induced when I'm 10 days over, which would be Wednesday. Today is Thursday, so it's 6 days away. So yeah, that was day 3, and I will fill you in on day 4 tomorrow, which no doubt won't be very different to day 3. So it's Friday morning, so I'm 7 days overdue, and I've woken up and I could just cry, to be honest. Last night, I was having contractions, which is nothing new, but they were quite a bit stronger, and they were also getting closer together. So obviously that was really, really positive, and I stayed up till like 11, but I was just so tired and got into bed, fell asleep, and here I am. I just can't understand it. It's hard to explain how disappointing it is to just wake up the next day and nothing's happened and everything's stopped. I think after 4 days now, I'm losing it. But here we go, another long day ahead of just waiting and nothing happening. And I thought I'd come back on actually today, because when I spoke to you this morning, I was like, I'm not in a good place and a bit dramatic. So I thought I'd come back on and talk again now that I'm in a better mood and a better place. So yeah, same old really. Still having random contractions. They're always like really random in the day, and then in the evening is usually when they get more intense. So I'm expecting that when we sit down tonight and watch telly or whatever, that they will get more intense. They're still only like a 4 out of 10. But yeah, I've kind of given up hoping that they'll lead to anything. Yeah, I'm kind of just trying to let go of all of the anxiety that it's sort of bringing, because I feel like the anxiety is stopping things happening. It's like a vicious circle. Very hard to stop it, but I'm really trying. So yeah, that was day 7 of being overdue, and we'll see if there's any change tomorrow. Okay, so that last clip that you saw was at about 6 p.m. that I filmed that, and it actually happened that night. So that night I started having contractions on the sofa, like I had been doing every night. So I genuinely thought nothing of it. I started to time them, or Clint was timing them, and Clint was like, Ellie, they're like spot on, like the pattern is really spot on this time, like I think this is it. And I was like, no, they're gonna stop any minute. Like I just wouldn't let myself believe that it was actually happening. Like I didn't want to get my hopes up. So he was like, I need to call your mum, because my mum was always sort of arranged that my mum would come over if it happened at night time, and she would just sleep in the spare room, and then we wouldn't have to disturb Leo. So Clint was like, I need to call your mum, and I was like, no, it's gonna stop. But by about 11, I don't know, about 11 o'clock, yeah, it was obvious that it was really happening. I'd accepted that it was happening. So yeah, we got my mum over and we phoned ahead, because I was due to give birth in a small midwife unit. You have to call ahead because our one isn't open all hours. It's not open 24 hours. So you have to call ahead and give them time to get down there, open the place up, get it ready for you. So we did all that, and then I spent about another hour or an hour and a half just contracting at home. I wanted to labour at home as much as I could, really, until the pain got really bad. So yeah, I took some little videos of me having contractions at home, which I will show you now.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. I remember what it was. 2:30.
What lasted 2:30?
2:30 between it finishing and this one starting.
I want to get in the bath. I hope they've read my notes because it says I want to get in the bath.
Well, I should have read it now. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, I don't know where you've parked at all then.
I'm on.
And I've just I've just watched them back on my phone and realised that you can hear Trevor snoring so loudly. If you are new to my channel, Trevor is our very old bulldog who snores a lot, and yet that is what that weird noise was in the background, okay? So yeah, after that footage I just showed you, we got in the car, we got the call to say that they were ready, so we got in the car, went over to our local hospital, and as you can see I got straight on the ball. We wanted gravity to sort of do its magic, so I spent hours, like 3 or 4 hours on this ball, just bouncing and contracting on the ball, just trying to, you know, let gravity do its thing. And then that bouncing did its magic because I got up to have a wee at some point. I don't know, the time scale just runs away with me, but at some point I got up to have a wee, and my waters broke on the floor. Not a lot, so we thought it was just my hind waters because there wasn't loads of it. But that was good. That showed that obviously the ball was doing its thing, and after a little bit of time they said that I was dilated enough to get in the pool, which is what I wanted to do. I really wanted to try the birthing pool, so I was so happy I got to try it. Oh, honey, look. I'm gonna try and keep him in shot because he's so cute. Yeah, so I got in the pool, which I've always wanted to try, so I was really happy that I got to do that. And here's a picture of me in the pool, actually, high on gas and air. But actually, the reality was that I didn't really stay in there that long. I just got really hot, and actually it just felt natural to me that I wanted to be upright, and I wanted to have my contractions sort of stood up. That was what my body was telling me to do. So in the end I was sort of stood up in the bath, like holding on to Clint. So we were like, should we just get out? Like, there's no point being in the bath. So I got out and just continued to contract and labour in the normal room. Like I said, I was just really into doing it upright, but yeah, Clint said I was like so wobbly on my feet that eventually they convinced me to get on the bed. So it was all going like really swimmingly, all going really well. And it was about 8 o'clock in the morning at this point. So there was a new shift at the hospital, and you know, all of today's midwives were arriving, and it was like the timing was just spot on, because as they arrived for their day at work, that is when all the drama started. So basically what happened is, yeah, I was lying on the bed and I ended up vomiting. So I hadn't had any pain relief, I was only having gas and air, but we tried to have a little bit of liquid morphine, and literally within 5 minutes, yeah, I was sort of projectile vomiting. So that didn't help. I wouldn't recommend having that. It literally came like straight back up and obviously did nothing. But yeah, because I was so sick, all over the bed, all over Clint's feet, which he likes to remind me of. I guess the pressure of like being sick caused my waters to fully break. So this is the truth, guys, okay? This is the glamour of childbirth. I was literally swimming in my own sick and my waters, and just to make it worse, you know, the midwife came in to help and immediately noticed that my waters were green. So for those of you who don't know, babies' first poos are called meconium, and it's like weird stuff. It looks like Marmite. It's basically them emptying their intestines. And what can happen during childbirth if the baby is a little bit distressed is they can empty their bowels while they're still inside you. And then obviously the meconium, the poo, is like floating around in the waters, and it's really dangerous. Like, it can be really, really serious and really dangerous. And unfortunately I knew this. So when she told me there was meconium in my waters, I got really upset and really worried. But they were wonderful, they were so calm. So she called an ambulance to come straight away, and the ambulance said they'd be 7 minutes. So she sort of said to me, right, if you want to deliver here, we've got 7 minutes. So I started pushing, and I was trying so hard. Like, I did not want to get in that ambulance. I had to get in an ambulance with my first son, and I knew how horrible it was going in an ambulance while you're in, you know, very, very painful labour. So I was trying so hard to get this baby out of me, but he just wouldn't come out. And what was happening is there was like a lip, she said a lip of my cervix was still in the way, like it was still on his head. So she was like trying to manually move it out of the way as I pushed, and we were, you know, trying different positions. We were trying really hard to get him out, but it just wasn't happening. And because of the meconium, you know, we couldn't take any risks. I had to get in the ambulance, because at the bigger hospital they can monitor him and make sure that he's safe, and ultimately that's all that matters. So I was devastated, but I had to get in the ambulance. And oh my god, anyone who's been at the end of labour in an ambulance will know what I'm talking about. It's literally the most horrific thing. Like, ambulances, like, I was blue lighted, so you know, he's going fast, going over the most bumpy ride of your life, and you're having contractions. Like, it's not ideal. And also I was right at the end, so I was having the urges to push but didn't want to push because Clint obviously wasn't in the ambulance. So it was a long ass 10 minutes, I can tell you. But we got there, we got to the big hospital, and Clint was there soon after us, so I really calmed down once he arrived. And it was actually really quick. Once we got to the bigger hospital, I guess like the motion of being in the ambulance and just that those extra few contractions moved his head, so he was in a much better position, and I managed to push him out within sort of half an hour of arriving at the bigger hospital. So yeah, I have just never been, that is my proudest moment in life. Like, with my first son, he wouldn't come out. I had no energy. We ended up using a ventouse. Like, it was a really sort of horrific end. But the fact that I just pushed him out on my own, to later find out that he was 9 pounds and I'm a little person. Women rule, like, we really do. Like, the stuff our bodies are capable of, like, we are legends. So anyway, he was out, and it was all fine. But because of the meconium, like, just to warn you, like, don't be scared if it happens to you. You can't hold your baby straight away. Like, he had to go to a paediatrician. I could see him, but you know, he had to go to the paediatrician and have his mouth, you know, sucked. They put a thing in his mouth and sucked, just in case he had any gunk in his mouth. Obviously that would be really dangerous. So it was about 5 minutes before I could actually hold him, but worth every minute, obviously. And he's just been thriving ever since. Like, he's doing really, really well. I did have to stay in the hospital that night again because of the meconium. They just like to monitor them and check that they're all good, which is fine. And actually it was quite nice to be in the hospital for the night, just me and him, and just chill together. The only downside is it was Leo's birthday party the next day, so I missed that. But yeah, I just can't believe that was a week ago. I can't believe that was the quickest week of my life. So that is what happened during Cooper's birth. So it started out as a long 5-day latent labour, then it went swimmingly, and then it ended up in a emergency delivery. So it was really up and down, kind of eventful, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, I was really, really lucky. Like some people's birth stories, oh my goodness, like I feel really grateful that mine was pretty straightforward and zero complications. Well, not zero, obviously there was the meconium, but in the grand scheme of things, like I say, I just feel really lucky that it was all okay, and that he is fine, I am fine, and we're just loving the baby bubble life right now. But what I'm actually going to do now, as soon as I finish this video, is I'm gonna sit down, oh honey, and film a really honest, raw postpartum chat and a Q&A. I opened up my Q&A on Instagram last night and I got so many questions where people just want to know the truth about postpartum life. Like, what is it really like after you give birth? It's going to be gory, it's going to be honest. So I'm going to sit down and film that next. So watch out for that. That'll be up really soon. But guys, thank you so much for watching my birth vlog and story. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe before you go. Welcome to the club. Fingers crossed he stays asleep for my next video as well. Wish me luck, and I will see you lovely people in my next video.